Okay, so we are solving these systems with 3 variables. Elimination is the name of the game today. Okay, now, as we look at this, a couple of things to start off with. First of all, I always like to pick a variable to eliminate. Okay, we can pick x's, we can pick y's, we can pick z's. Just based on what you know about elimination. I know you don't really know exactly what we're getting ready to do, but based on what you know about elimination, what would you guess would be the variable we want to start off eliminating? Patrick?
Z.
Z. Why Z?
Because it didn't have any numbers.
Yeah, they're all 1Z's, aren't they? Some positive, some negative, but they're all 1Z's. We don't have different coefficients. So on this particular problem, my recommendation is going to be that we eliminate Z's. And I'm just going to kind of write a note here to remind myself, or if you look back later, that we're eliminating Z's on this one.
Eliminate Z's?
Yes. Like we're going to get rid of the Z's.
Don't say you didn't spell eliminate
Picky, picky. Eliminate. Well, okay.
I was right with you. I didn't know how to spell it. It's all right.
Eliminate. Is that better? Being difficult, huh?
Spelling, as always.
Okay. There is a reason, I will tell you guys, there is a reason I'm a math teacher. My math skills are definitely a little bit better than my English spelling skills, you know. Okay, so we're going to eliminate Z's if we want to be picky here. Now, another thing I always do. There's a lot of work, as you saw. I like to number my equations. So I'm going to call this equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. Just so as I go through the work, I have some idea as to what's what. Because otherwise it's going to turn into a mess of numbers, okay? So I will definitely urge organization is definitely a key here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 equations and get them to a situation where we have 2 equations with just 2 variables. And we're going to eliminate z's to do that. So, pick 2 equations that you want to eliminate z's with.
First one, second.
First one and second one would be perfect, wouldn't they? So, let's see. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to rewrite my equation 1 and equation 2 so I can eliminate. So I have 2x minus y plus z equals 4 and x plus 3y minus z equals 11. Okay. How do we eliminate the z's?
Add them together.
They're opposite signs, so we are set up to add. So let's add these 2 equations together. 2x plus x is 3x. Negative y plus 3y.
2y.
Z plus negative z.
Cancels out.
Okay. And 4 plus 11. 15. So I now have a new equation. 3x plus 2y equals 15. And again, this is all about organization in my book. Okay. I'm going to call this equation 4. And I also think I'm going to kind of box it or circle it just so I can find it here in a moment. But that's my equation 4. Okay. Do I have room to see if I have room here? Repeat this process. We used equations 1 and 2 the first go round. Pick 2 different equations. So you have to use 1 or 2 again, but we're going to use 3. So 3 in some equation, eliminate z again. So same thing. What are you thinking, Paul?
3.
3 along with what though?
4.
1. Okay. And it's not that it has to be this way, but 3 and 1 are the easy option because they also have a positive z and a negative z. Now, I'm going to write these. Some of you are going to try and do this in your head. More power to you. But I'm going to write out that this is what do we say? 1 and 3. I really shouldn't be trying to squeeze this down here, but I am. 2x minus y plus z equals 4. And 4x plus y minus z equals 14. And again, my equations are set up and ready to add. Yes? Okay, so 2x plus 4x is 6x. Minus y plus y cancels. Okay, that was a necessity, but that's nice. Z plus negative z cancels. Oh, nice little benefit here, isn't it? 4 plus 14? 18. Okay, guys. This is typically what I call equation 5. Now, this is our beginning level. Okay, this is beginner level, which means it's going to work out a little bit nicer than some of the ones later on. Okay. Normally, our plan would be, okay, let's take equations 4 and 5 and work with them together. But what do we know after getting equation 5?
You got x equals 3.
We got x, don't we? So we can start our solving process. If we end up with 6x equals 18, divide by 6, and we know and answer. We know x equals 3. Okay. Once you get one answer, we need to start finding our other answers. Thoughts of what we can do with x equals 3 to find another answer? What are you thinking, Paul?
So for your 4 problem, you can plug the 3 times by 3 times.
Okay. Once you have one variable, go back to some place where you only had 2 variables. Normally it's equation 4 and 5. Again, this one worked out a little differently. So we're going to go back here to equation 4. So equation 4 was 3x plus 2y equals 15, correct? And what do we know? X is 3. So 3 times 3 plus 2y equals 15. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 2y equals 15. What are we going to do with that 9? We're going to subtract the 9. 15 minus 9 is 6. And y is 3. Am I done?
Yep.
Next, you have a coordinate.
But,
We got to find z.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, find D.
Okay. We've got x, we've got y, but these problems have a z. So, thoughts on how we find z?
Plug it into one.
Everything.
Three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually your last step is going back to equation 1, 2, or 3. You pick. We'll all get the same answer if done correctly. Which one looks the easiest for us?
Number 1.
Number 1. Okay. So number 1 is 2x minus y plus equals 4. So 2 times 3 minus 3 plus z equals 4. Random side comment. Notice I put the slash through my z. One of the main reasons I do that in math is because my z's and my 2's
Oh, yeah.
tend to look alike real quickly. So, if you're questioning why is she putting that mark through the z, so it doesn't look like a 2. Okay? Use it, leave it, I don't care, but just saying. Okay, what do we have? 6 minus 3 plus z equals 4. Good. 6 minus 3 is
3.
3 plus z equals 4.
Subtract the 3.
Subtract the 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay.
It wasn't too bad.
No, that was terrible.
Just time consuming.
It is. They are time consuming.
Doing 10 of these might not work.
I don't remember how many you have in homework, but I can guarantee it's not 10.
Yay.
Honest, I don't remember.
4 would be nice.
So,
It's good enough.
okay.
Keep it even.
How do you think, take a guess, how are we going to express our answer?
ordered.
So do.
Ordered triple.
Yeah.
Order triple.
So normally we say ordered pair,
Order.
which goes in the order X, Y. Now it's an ordered triple, which is going to go in the order,
X, Y, Z.
you got it. So 3, 3, 1.
Is that how they're gonna want it on topics?
Yes.
How many of these were practicing?
I don't remember. I didn't think to look this morning.
Let's just do 2.
Might as well
So-
do two.
Or you want
Okay, now, and I'll be honest, guys, we got a short version here.
Let's do 2 today, 2 tomorrow.
Alright.
Okay, so we got a short version here, so just saying.
Let's start.
Okay, look at the next one. Ready? Can I go to my next screen? Huh?
Am I ready?
As ready as it's getting, right? Okay. As we look at this next one, again, I'm going to call my equations. 1, 2, 3. And I'll be honest, as you guys get more into this and understand the process, do you have to use all these, do you have to use 1, 2, 3 and things like that? No. Some of you always will. Some of you may be like, oh no, I can skip this step or this step. Your choice. Okay. Guesses or just thoughts. What would you like to eliminate?
Why?
I like Y's. Why would we pick Y's?
They're 1, 1, 1.
They're one Y's, right? So I'm writing up here a note so I don't forget what I'm doing. Eliminate. Now, would anyone else have pointed that out, or would you guys have all just let me go with it?
Or just like
I would have pointed it out.
I wouldn't.
Okay. So we're going to eliminate Y's because they're all one Y's.
2 and 3.
Okay. Pick a couple equations to get started.
2, 3.
Okay. 2 and 3, and then what's the other pair we'd probably do?
2.
Okay. So in other words, taking that positive and putting it with the others, yes?
Mhm.
Okay. You guys want to start with 2 and 3? Is that what we're doing here? You're going to make me go out of order, my normal order?
Just do 1, 2.
Okay. I'll do 2 and 3 first. X plus Y plus 3Z equals negative 3. He sees the plus Y there, right? Now, 3 has a negative Y. So 2X minus Y plus 2Z equals 0. Be very careful as you copy these equations down. That is one of the easiest places to make mistakes on this. Is just, we're writing a lot of numbers. Okay, these equations, positive Y and negative Y, we are ready to add, yes? Okay, are you ahead of me? You got it added? Okay. X plus 2X.
3x.
Y plus negative Y.
Cancel.
3Z plus 2Z
5z.
plus 5Z equals negative 3 plus 0 is negative 3. I personally am going to call this equation 4.
I do have a quick question.
Okay?
So, would it, I know this is weird, would it matter if, like, let's say you put your 3 on top and 2 on bottom? Does that matter?
No. I mean, the only thing that's, actually no, because we're adding, so no, it's not going to matter. If you were subtracting the equations, you'd get different signs, but it all works out. And here's another one of the big challenges with this. Not everyone's going to go the same route with these, are they? So it does make it hard to compare pieces. So, okay. That was 2 and 3. What's the other good combo? 1 and 2. So 1 is X minus Y plus Z equals negative 1. And 2 is X plus Y plus 3Z equals negative 3. And Y's have opposite signs, a positive and a negative, so we're ready to add, correct?
Yep.
X plus X minus Y plus Y.
Cancel.
Z plus 3Z,
4z.
so plus 4Z equals
Negative.
negative 1 plus negative 3 is negative 4. And I'm going to call this equation 5. Okay. Now, you kind of knew this was coming, but it's not quite so easy this time, is it? But here's the deal. We just created equations 4 and 5, yes? Let me bring them over here and write them next to each other so you can see what we have. 3x plus 5z equals -3. And 2x plus 4z equals -4. Right? No magic there. Those are the two equations we just created, right? Okay. What do you think we're going to do? Do you see it? You know how to do this.
I would substitute.
I would not substitute here. What?
Multiply.
What do you mean multiply?
Multiply the equations. By the least common.
Like run it to 6x, 6x.
Okay.
Yeah.
So set ourselves up as it is right now. So basically we're doing elimination again, aren't we? Okay, here we eliminated z's in the big equations. Now we need to eliminate x's or y's. Now, in order to eliminate x's or y's, there's something real nice and neat that we can just add as is? No. Okay, so that's where the multiplying step comes in. We can either make 3x and 2x both turn into 6x, or we can make 5z and 4z turn into 20z. But your job now is to eliminate another variable. Okay? So, shall I guess you guys are leaning towards x's?
Yeah.
Okay. If we're going to eliminate x's, I'm going to multiply my top equation by,
-2.
okay, I was going to say 2.
Well, you could do.
Either way,
You got to do negative on what?
my bottom equation multiplies by 3. One of these, the way I teach it, needs to be a negative. The other option is to subtract. Okay, just don't make mistakes with your signs. I personally am going to go with multiplying the bottom one by -3. Here's the deal. Oh, wait. What am I doing? One of them you're multiplying by a negative, yes? Doesn't matter which. So as I multiply these out, multiplying the top one by 2, I'm going to have 6x plus 10z equals -6. Denominator. Huh. Second equation. Multiplying by 3, I'm making mine -3, so it's going to be -6x minus 12z equals -3 times -4 is +12. And as designed, I have opposite signs on my 6x's, right? So we're going to add 6x plus -6x. Cancels. 10z plus -12z. And there's -2z. Maybe why Patrick had the negative on the other one. -6 plus 12 is 6. Okay. Do you see where to go here?
Subtract your, well, divide. It's not divide your
Okay.
-2.
Okay, yeah. If it's -2 times z, divide by -2. And we end up with z equals 6 divided by -2, or 6 divided by -2, but we end up with -3. Now here's the deal. If you took any different path along the way, do you get the same z? Yes. So if your z is not matching with mine, that means, and you did something slightly different, you made a mistake somewhere. Doesn't mean you did something illegal, you just made a mistake. Okay. What are your thoughts? What are we going to do with this z?
Substitute it.
Where are we going to plug it into?
One either.
I'd do
4,
5.
5.
Yeah, one of them.
Okay. So because I only know one variable, I have to go back to someplace that has 2 variables. So your options are 4 or 5. Doesn't matter which. No. Pick the one that looks most pleasant to you. I would go back to my original 4 or 5. I wouldn't use these multiplied versions. Jayton says 5. So if I'm using 5, that's 2x plus 4z equals negative 4. So 2x plus 4 times negative 3 equals negative 4. 4 times negative 3 is going to be minus 12. So 2x minus 12 equals negative 4. If it's 2x minus 12, we're going to add 12. So then 2x is equal to negative 4 plus 12, which is 8. If 2x equals 8, divide by 2, and x is 4. I have z, I have x. How would you like to find y?
Which one of the original equations?
Look at them both.
Okay. We're going to take z, we're going to take x, we're going to plug them into an equation that had y. Your options are 1, 2, or 3.
I'd do one.
Okay. And you guys are picking 1 because it's just all the 1 pieces, aren't you? So x minus y plus z equals negative 1. Whereas in my head, I was picking number 2 because it had a positive y to it. But, and again, there's lots of ways you can do this, right? So 4 minus y plus z is going to be minus 3 equals negative 1. Like terms, 4 minus 3 is going to be 1 minus y equals negative 1.
Subtract 1.
Okay. To get the y by itself, I'm going to subtract 1. So then I have negative y, and negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. If negative y equals negative 2, officially to get rid of that negative, you divide by negative 1, and y is
2.
positive 2. Okay? Final answer.
4, 2, negative 3.
Ordered triple, alphabetical order, 4, 2, negative 3. If you took any different routes than me, we all end up with the same answer, right?
Mhm.
And there are lots of different routes we could take.
This isn't like the hardest stuff to do, but like it's just so time consuming.
It is. It's time consuming, okay? Okay, you want to try one more?
No.
We need to.
Too bad.
Because each time I level up my problems, don't I? So, as you are starting to look ahead at the next one, what did I level up here?
There's no like one.
I don't have the obvious what do we eliminate of, oh, it was all 1z's, it was all 1y's. I don't have that this time. So, we're going to, in order to do our pick a variable, we still have to pick a variable to eliminate. We're going to have to do some multiplying right from the beginning. That's what's going to have to happen. What looks most interesting to eliminate?
Yeah.
Why?
Not X's.
X
is all Y.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
X's or Y's are pretty similar, aren't they? I would stray away from Z's just because there's going to be a little bit more work entailed. But X's, you have one X's and a 2X. Y's, you have one Y and a 2Y. Again, either will work. Okay? To round it out, I'm going to eliminate X's because I haven't eliminated X's yet today, have I? But in all honesty, it's all in the eye of the beholder. Okay? With that in mind, I'm still going to name these equations 1, 2, and 3. If nothing else, it's a teaching tool for me, right? It's easy for me to refer to the equations. Okay, eliminate x's. Where's the easy pair to eliminate x's?
1 and 3.
1 and 3? Because then we don't have to do any multiplying, right? So let's take advantage of that. And let's use 1 and 3 to eliminate x's. So let me write these next to each other so we can do the math. X plus y plus 2z equals 3. And negative x minus 2y plus z equals 10. X's have opposite signs. We are set up to add. Okay. X plus negative x cancels. Y plus negative 2y.
Negative y.
1 minus 2, negative 1. Okay, 2z plus z. 3z. And 3 plus 10? 13. What am I going to call this? I'm going to call this 4. Okay. That was 1 and 3 we used. We need to eliminate x's again.
2 and 3.
I can handle 2 and 3. Okay. We have to do a little extra work. The reason honestly it doesn't matter, but 2 and 3, at least you already have the opposite signs, right? You already have a positive and a negative, you just don't have them both as 2. So I'm going to write them down and then I'll do the math here. So 2 is 2x plus y plus 3z equals 7. 3 is negative x minus 2y plus z equals 10. Okay. If our goal is to eliminate x's, keep that goal in mind, right? What do we need to do to be able to eliminate x's?
Multiply 3 by 2.
Okay, equation 3
Yeah.
by 2.
Taking it out.
No, you're fine. My brain just was not. My brain had the bottom one in mind as opposed to number. So, okay. Don't ask. Just don't. We are multiplying equation 3 by the number 2. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to, off to the side here, rewrite what I have. My top equation stays the same. 2x plus y plus 3z equals 7. That's equation 2. I didn't change it. My bottom equation, I'm doubling. I'm multiplying by 2. So now I have negative 2x minus 4y plus 2z equals 20. And now we are set up to add. 2x plus negative 2x
Cancel.
cancels. Y plus negative 4y. 3z plus 2z
5z.
equals. Okay. What am I going to call this? I'm going to call this equation 5. Okay. So sometimes you have to do a little extra work from the beginning to find your equations 4 and 5. But now we're going to put equations 4 and 5 together and see what we can do with them. So 4 was negative y plus 3z equals 13. And 5 is negative 3y plus 5z equals 27. So there's my 4 and my 5. Well, what's your plan? You have a variable you would like to eliminate at this point. Toph?
Multiply the top by 3.
Negative 3.
Depends on who you're talking to in this room. I personally am going to say multiply. So eliminating y is obviously multiplying that top by some version of 3. If I'm going for my opposite signs that I like to teach, I'm going to multiply that top by a negative 3. You can multiply it by 3 and just subtract. You can multiply the top by positive 3 and the bottom by a negative 1 if you want. Okay? So, regardless, this top is multiplied by some type of 3. I am going to go with negative 3. So, my top equation when multiplying by negative 3 becomes positive 3y minus 9z equals negative 39. My bottom equation just carries over. Negative 3y plus 5z equals 27. My signs are opposite, so I'm ready to add 3y plus negative 3y. Cancel. Negative 9z plus 5z.
Negative 4z.
Negative 4z. Negative 39 plus 27.
Negative 12.
Negative 12. If negative 4z equals negative 12,
Plus negative 4.
divide by negative 4, and
Z equals 3.
z is 3. Again, I don't care what other steps you took to get to this point, you should have z is 3. Or at some point in your problem, you should have z is 3, right? Okay, what's my next plan?
Plug in 4.
Okay, 4 or 5 are your options. I'm hearing 4, which is negative y plus 3z equals 13. So negative y plus 3 times 3 equals 13. 3 times 3 is 9. Negative y plus 9 equals 13, so subtract 9.
4, 5, negative y equals 4.
Negative y equals 4. Officially, it's divide or multiply by negative 1, so y is negative 4.
Yep.
And
Plug it in, look that up. 1. Yep.
okay, it's 1, 2, or 3 are your options, right? So don't feel like you always have to do 1. It's just the way it's working out for us. So 1 is x plus y plus 2z equals 3. So what do we know? We don't know x. Plus y is going to be minus 4 plus 2z, 2 times 3, equals 3. X minus 4 plus 6 equals 3. What's minus 4 plus 6?
2.
That's going to be a 2. So x plus 2 equals 3, and
Subtract
x is
1.
1.
1, negative 4.
Ordered triple. X, y, ooh, horrible looking y. Let's try that again. Z. 1, negative 4, and 3. Okay. In homework, they are looking for ordered triples. Now, I will say we have not talked about no solution or infinitely many solutions or anything like that. So expect that you're going to be answering a unique solution when you look there. You have a total of 3 homework problems.
Oh, my God.
Nice.
Okay, now, this just took us the whole period to do 3, right? Sometimes you can go faster on your own because you don't have the teacher slowing you down. Sometimes you go slower on your own because you don't have the teacher keeping you straight, right? Okay, not making mistakes. So we finished notes today. We'll see where tomorrow takes us. But one of my main activities for tomorrow is helping you guys with homework questions if there are them. Okay? That is going to be one of my main things. We may or may not start into the substitution notes tomorrow. If you look at the back side is substitution. And there are 2 examples there. Okay?
I like the example.
Yeah. The back side is substitution. There's 2 examples there. We're going to practice with substitution tomorrow and or Friday. Depending, we'll see how things go. So what I need you guys to do, it would be really helpful if you'd start the homework. Just saying, okay? And try the homework. But my job tomorrow will be to help you troubleshoot. Okay? We can go through something as a class, but I can also help you troubleshoot. Find your mistakes.